At the memory clinic, the doctor said your scars aren't from accidents, you're crossing into other realities while you sleep. I didn't believe her, just stayed silent and went home. But that night, when I woke up covered in fresh wounds, I finally understood why the children in my walls had been waiting. The scar on Maya's left palm had always been there, pale and crescent-shaped, like a sliver of moon pressed into her flesh. She'd asked her mother about it once when she was 7. "You fell," her mother had said, not looking up from the dishes. "From where?" "The playground." But Maya had never liked playgrounds. She remembered that much, even then. The other children were too loud, too unpredictable, their laughter sharp as broken glass. Now, at 32, Maya traced that scar with her thumb as she sat in the waiting room of the Meridian Institute for Memory Recovery. The walls were too white, the air too still, and the receptionist's smile too practiced. Everything about this place felt like a held breath. "Ms. Reeves. Dr. Klein will see you now." Dr. Klein's office was warmer, filled with books and the amber glow of a desk lamp. The doctor herself was younger than Maya expected, with sharp eyes that seemed to catalog everything at once. "Tell me about the scars," Dr. Klein said, skipping pleasantries. Maya hesitated. "All of them. Start with the one you think about most." Maya's hand moved to her collarbone, to the thin line hidden beneath her shirt. "This one. I got it when I was 19. At least, that's when it appeared. I woke up one morning, and it was just there. Fresh. Bloody. Like someone had cut me while I slept." "And what did you do?" "I went to the hospital. They stitched me up, asked if I remembered falling, if I'd been drinking, if someone had hurt me. I hadn't. I didn't. I don't know." The words tumbled out faster now. "It kept happening. Different scars. Different places. A burn on my shoulder at 23. A puncture wound on my thigh at 27. Each time, no memory of how I got them. Just the wounds, and everyone looking at me like I was either lying or losing my mind." Dr. Klein leaned forward. "Have you considered you might be right? That you don't remember? That's why I'm here." "No," Dr. Klein said quietly. "You're here because you've started to suspect the truth is worse than forgetting." The air in the room grew heavy. Maya felt her pulse in her throat. Dr. Klein opened a drawer and pulled out a leather journal, worn at the edges. "Do you recognize this?" Maya's breath caught. She did. Somewhere deep in the architecture of her mind, she recognized the journal the way you recognize a face in a dream, vaguely, impossibly. "I found it in your mother's storage unit," Dr. Klein said. "After she passed last year, her lawyer contacted us. We specialize in recovered memories, yes, but also in contested realities. Your mother left specific instructions. She wanted you to read this, but only under supervision." Maya reached for the journal with trembling hands. The first page was dated 26 years ago, in her mother's careful handwriting. Maya fell today. Not from the playground. From the other place. "I've sealed it again, but the mark remains. A reminder. A warning. The other place." Maya whispered. "Keep reading." She turned pages, each entry more disturbing than the last. Maya asks about her father again. "I tell her he died before she was born. This is easier than the truth that he never existed at all, not in the way she thinks. He was a door I opened. The door she keeps trying to walk through. Found her in the attic tonight, standing perfectly still, eyes closed. When I woke her, there was blood on her hands. Not hers. I don't know whose. I burned the clothes. Painted over the symbols she'd drawn on the walls. Dr. Shaw says we need to try the procedure. 7 years old is too young, but waiting is too dangerous. If she keeps crossing over without training, Without protection, she'll bring something back that won't let go. Maya's hands shook so badly she nearly dropped the journal. What procedure? Dr. Klein's expression was unreadable. Your mother paid a very specific psychologist to suppress your abilities. Not just your memories, your entire capacity to perceive what she called the threshold spaces. Places between. Liminal zones where reality is thinner. That's insane. Is it? Dr. Klein stood and moved to the window. You said the scars appear spontaneously. But what if they don't? What if you're still crossing over, still having experiences in those threshold spaces, and your conscious mind simply can't process them? The memories get suppressed, but the physical evidence remains. Maya felt the room tilt. Why would my mother do that to me? To protect you. Dr. Klein turned back, her eyes softening. According to her notes, you were getting hurt. Badly. You'd disappear for hours, sometimes days, and come back with injuries you couldn't explain. Once, you vanished for a week. When you returned, you were catatonic for 3 days, and when you finally spoke, you described things. She couldn't let you remember those things. What things? Dr. Klein flipped to a page near the journal's end and read aloud, she says there are children in the walls. Children who've been waiting. She says they know her name, her real name, the one written in the space between heartbeats. She says if I could hear it, I'd understand why we can never truly be safe. I'm doing the procedure tomorrow. God forgive me. Silence filled the office like water rising. Maya's hand went to the scar on her palm. The crescent. The moon. How do I remember? That's not the question you should be asking. Then what is? Whether you want to. Dr. Klein sat down again, her professional mask slipping to reveal something like fear. Your mother spent her life keeping you sealed off from those places. If we undo her work, if we help you remember, you'll also regain access. You'll be able to cross over again. And Maya, whatever's been waiting for you all these years, it will know you're back. Maya thought of all the scars. All the missing time. All the nights she'd woken up exhausted, dirt under her fingernails, with no memory of leaving her bed. It's already happening, isn't it? She said. I'm already crossing over. I just can't remember. Dr. Klein nodded slowly. The suppression is failing. It was only ever meant to last until you were strong enough to face the truth. Your mother thought that would be after her death, when you'd be truly alone and have no choice but to learn. Learn what? How to fight. Maya stood, legs unsteady. I need time to think. You don't have time. Dr. Klein's voice was sharp now, urgent. Look at your arms. Maya glanced down. New marks had appeared on her forearms, thin red lines like map coordinates, still beating with blood. She hadn't felt them appear. Hadn't felt anything. You're there right now, Dr. Klein said. Part of you. You're crossing over as we speak, and something is hurting you. If you don't remember, if you don't learn to control it, those wounds will get worse. Eventually, you won't come back at all. Maya's vision blurred at the edges. The office seemed to stretch, the walls growing distant. She could hear something now, beneath the hum of the fluorescent lights, voices, young voices, singing a nursery rhyme she almost recognized. What do I do? The words came out broken. Dr. Klein moved closer, placing both hands on Maya's shoulders. You remember? Fully. Completely. I'll guide you back to the first crossing, before the suppression. But Maya, you need to understand those children your mother wrote about. They're not metaphors. And they've been waiting a very long time for you to come home. Maya closed her eyes. The singing grew louder. Do it, she whispered. Dr. Klein's voice became a distant echo. Find the door, Maya. The one you fell through when you were 7. Find the door and walk back through. The office dissolved. Maya stood in a hallway that couldn't exist too long, too narrow, lit by lights that flickered in patterns that almost spelled words. The walls were covered in childish drawings, stick figures holding hands in endless chains. At the far end, a door stood open. She walked toward it, her bare feet silent on the floor. With each step, a memory returned, sharp and complete. The first time she'd slipped between. The feeling of the world peeling open. The children emerging from the walls, their faces familiar and wrong, wearing the smiles of photographs but moving with the jerky urgency of prey animals. They'd known her name, her true name, the one written in the space between her heartbeats. Threshold. She reached the door and looked through. On the other side was herself, 7 years old, standing in an attic with blood on her hands and terror in her eyes. The younger Maya was drawing symbols on the walls, trying to close the door she'd opened, trying to keep the children from following her home. But it was too late. They were already there, in the walls of her mother's house, in the gaps between moments. Waiting. Adult Maya stepped through the door. Her 7-year-old self looked up, and their eyes met across time. "I'm sorry," young Maya whispered. "Don't be," adult Maya replied, kneeling beside her past self. "You were just trying to find Dad. Did you?" "No. But I found something else. I found out why we're different. Why we can see the spaces between. Why." Maya touched the crescent scar on her palm, and understanding bloomed like a wound reopening. "Because we are the door. We always were. Not something that goes through, we are the threshold itself. And every scar is just another place where we've been opened." The singing stopped. The children stepped from the walls, dozens of them, hundreds, all wearing faces from photographs in her mother's albums, relatives she'd never met, siblings she'd never had.